I'm just gonna continue doing work, actually. What's happening? It's just such an ugly. Why am I even trying to make this work? Okay, well. Oh, okay, it's break time. I'm bad at taking the breaks, so this is helpful. Um, Hi, if you're here, I'm here too. I can't see my screen while I'm working, which is helpful. I do these lives mostly so that I literally cannot check my phone because it's away from me. But thank you. The keyboard is great. It came out of the box sounding this way. I put different keycaps on it, but it's the Mechlands Alice 98. It's got a full number pad over on the side. It is really hard to see the lighting, but there is lighting in there. Um, and I'm holding it near a candle, which is also always wonderful. Um, yeah, I have found streaming to be something that is like helpful for me, and something I'm trying to do this year is like if it's helpful for me, it's probably helpful for other people. So that's my thing there. Thank you. My desk is the most finished part of my home by far, because it's where I spend the most time. I will also say this shot is the most kind of pleasant. There is mess there. I mean, it's not too messy, but like that's my favorite lamp, and that thing never makes it in the shot. And then over here is like just more mess. Um, but if you if you angle it just right, like everything in life, it can look neat. Um, yeah, body doubling is really helpful. I used to do it with my sister all the time when we worked together, and now she has her dream job, so I can't even resent her for the fact that she's no longer around to like make sure that I'm doing work on Zoom. Yeah, it's funny. We all have different spots in our home that like I have a room that's like a store. I mean, it's not a room. I live in a railroad, and so one of the parts of my hallway is like my storage slash closet, but it's like cat litter slash closet. So I've never quite figured out what to do with it. I have no storage built into my space. So okay, we got 5 seconds left, and then another 15-minute sprint. And if you have questions that you want me to answer during the next break, leave them in the comments, and I'll try to get to them. Especially, yeah, we can talk about your rivalry once I'm done work, which is how I feel every day right now. Ugh. That's not how you spell physically. When did I changed this? Am I losing my mind? Oh my god, what even was it? Fuck. Let's do this. Okay, well, I don't know what. Okay. I think that was what it was. I remember doing this. Like, what happened? Okay, we got 30 seconds left until break. So if anyone is still here and wants to chat Heated Rivalry on the break, feel free to leave questions or just comments about the show or whatever in the comments. I'll try to read some. I'm prepping for a workshop that I have going on tomorrow, so that's what all of this is. These are my slides, which is also the way I'm building this workshop apparently. So that's interesting. And I'm bad at taking the breaks, so I have to take them. I make myself. You can't outdo a Pomodoro timer. All right, 3 minutes. If you're body doubling, it's a 3-minute break. If you're here and you want to chat Heated Rivalry, let me know. I'm also happy to chat other things. That has been what is mostly on my brain. And the annoying thing about that is like, even when I try to think about other things right now, it's not really possible. I really just want to be making videos. I feel like I found something I really enjoy doing and I just want to get paid to do that. And that's not possible for me right now. So, yeah, I mean, it really is incredible how much brain chemistry I feel like has shifted around this. And this is not my first romance. You know what I mean? This is not the first time I've been taken with a character, but geez, they really did. I mean, it was funny because I was talking to a friend. She was like, do you have any criticisms of the show? And I was like, sure, but they're just so minor that I don't care. Like, I'm enjoying it so much. I think their performances are so good. Like, yes, I wish there was a little more hockey. Yes, I wish like the rivalry was a little bit more pronounced, but like in the grand scheme of shit, like, I don't care. It's a perfect show. It's fine. There are things that we can just use our imaginations for. And that's been my kind of approach to it, is just like, yeah, let myself have this. We have such little joy and true escapism, and I understand that like it can be sticking your head in the sand at a certain point, but I think for a lot of people like myself who spend a lot of time like over intellectualizing things, this show has been a really good way to channel that urge and kind of like relax while doing it. It's a good show. It really is. And yeah, I don't know. I feel yeah, I mean, I think that the thing about romance in general is like a lot of the behavior at the beginning is toxic because there has to be an arc. There has to be somewhere for the characters to go and to grow into. So, yeah, I mean, if I had a friend who had somebody, hitting them up for 2 years straight to hook up, and then they hooked up and then they got ghosted after that, I would tell them to lose that person's number. But I also wouldn't have the understanding of like, oh, that person's gone through a lot in their life and this might not be about you. So I think it's a good example of like how we can sympathize with people without like overly sympathizing, Um, yeah, I think their age really matters. The fact that like their circumstances really matter. I'm not done talking about this, so I'm gonna pause this. So if you're body doubling, you get a little bit more of a break. I make the rules, but it's one of those things where like I think there was a moral panic that happened when Twilight was big, and I was the perfect age for Twilight, and I read all the books in like 2 weeks at camp, right up until the fourth one came out. So like that's where I was, and then I went to see the movie at midnight with a friend. It was like our first midnight movie, and I just remember a lot of people when Twilight came out being like, girls are going to enter into toxic relationships and it's not going to go well, and I don't think that's borne out. And it's one of those things that it's the same. I think there's a lot of moral questions around content now that didn't used to exist, but just I don't think romance is ever supposed to be a map for healthy real life relationships. And if it has to be, it's not going to be necessarily like super compelling narrative. And so I'm perfectly fine with the level of toxicity that existed at the beginning because um it's not unearned in a way. Like we understand why both of them are behaving that way, and even though like and they hurt each other's feelings in the show. Like it's not all one way, which I think the show like balances quite well. There's no moment where you feel like one of them is just being an absolute prick for no reason. And so that to me is really helpful. Um and yeah, I think like yeah, I hope that wasn't glib of me. I wasn't trying to assume that everybody knows all of the genre romance like tropes and stuff. I think that this is something that romance readers have had conversations about for a long time, and I think like book talk stuff also changed that. But there's a lot of questions around consent and things like that in romance that I find quite interesting to parse, because like what about it is safe to explore because it's fiction. um and and I think the exploration of more dangerous, of more taboo kind of things, it's fiction is the perfect place for us to explore what those feelings are, how it makes us feel. And that can be a really cool learning opportunity in many ways. So yeah, I think I don't expect media to have a lot of like morality. That is, and I think the consistency of the characters' morality lets me know they're not like bad people. So that's fun for me. That's Yeah. I don't have any moral qualms about either of their behavior throughout the show, because I think it's earned. The Foxhole Court. Ooh, that's a good title. I have never heard of that, but I'm glad that, characters are still on your mind. I feel like for me, it's like I get obsessed with movies every now and then, and I'll watch like one movie every day for like 3 or 4 months in a row, and then I'll just have that as one of my movies forever. But it's been a while since it happened with books. I feel like I used to really like I don't know. I I had to stop reading romance for a while because I fell into the hole of reading kind of bad romance. And part of me was like, I'm reading it for fun, and then I was just like, oh, I don't feel smart anymore after reading this. And so I read some Meg Cabot books that she publishes under Patricia Cabot for like Regency romance, and those were really, she's so good at character, so like that was really fun. But they haven't like stuck with me. I don't think about um, the lead guy in educating Caroline. Um, so okay, I do have to do a little bit more work. So thank you for enjoying the extended break with me, and we're back to it. Bane of my existence is sizing these cards. You would think I would have figured something out by now, but I haven't. Okay, great. Okay. Dee-dee-dee-dee. Sometimes I do something that just makes things uglier. And sometimes that's okay. If you can hear that thumping, that is in fact my upstairs neighbor, and it does often sound like they are going to come through the fucking ceiling. This is not the right one! I really hate this, but I have decided to go with it because, I don't know, reasons. Download. Just this page. Thanks.
Non-ice facilitator. When did everything get so wide?
I don't know if you can do this. Ooh, are these card page size? Is that how I did it? I'm a genius. Thank you, past me. The answer to that is no, I didn't. That's okay. It's like Goldilocks. Okay, 30 seconds left before break. If anyone is still here and wants to chat on the break about anything, feel free to throw things in the comments. Otherwise, I will just ramble about whatever while while everyone is here attempting to body double potentially while I'm yapping away. I could do typing tests during this time if there are no other things that people want me to talk about. I have found live to be incredibly helpful for my focus, which is the opposite of what I would have thought. Let me lean back here. Honestly, okay, I do think in the show we don't see Ilya drink a Coke, and so when Shane said that, I was like, mm. This app is called Pomocat, Pomocat. It's free on the App Store. It's the free version is great. You don't need to buy the premium unless you want to. But it does great. It's very cute and it helps me focus. I love a timer. I talk about timers all the time in my workshops because I think they are truly one of the best co-facilitators you can have. It's timers are great. They make everybody feel like they're hitting a deadline. You can always I can always concentrate in a 15-minute burst, but if I'm like sit down and do a project, I like panic that I'm not going to be able to concentrate that long, and it's like no, do that. And the other thing that I'm trying to get better about this year is like take the breaks. Like they're built in there for a reason. The most intimate moment in the show is Ilya whispering more. I mean, that's a pretty good one. I don't know. I think the thumb sucking at the end, the callback to like, because Ilya puts his thumb in Shane's mouth the first time they hook up, but when Shane puts his thumb in Ilya's mouth during that final sex scene that we get, like, holy like, I don't think I'm supposed to be here anymore, guys. I think this is too private, too intimate, too real. I also really love the intimacy of the first makeout that they have in the cottage when they like fall on the couch together, and Shane just like cannot stop smiling when he finds out that Ilya hasn't hooked up with anyone else in a while. It is so cute and so intimate. Like, but yeah, the final sex scene is like uncomfortably intimate in a way that I'm like, okay, you gotta dial this back though for season 2, because like I need to be able to just like watch without feeling like a voyeur. I'm not doing anything wrong by being here. Yay, first live, hi. I don't do well at like announcing the lives or anything, but I have found that doing work while I'm watched is helpful for my focus. Because like there were times where I was like, I really want to go check Tumblr right now, but I can't. I can't do it. It's Tumblr has never been as alive as it has been the last few weeks for me. Everyone is coming back. You can tell which fandoms have been specifically revived by this just based on the thumbnails I'm seeing again. Seeing a lot of Eduardo Savrins. I haven't seen this many Jesse Eisenberg headers in a while. But you know, they came back for Red, White, and Royal Blue too, which is no surprise. Okay. Oh, 15 more minutes. Here we go. I swear I've changed this twice now. I do feel a little bit like I am losing my mind in this very specific way. I think this is going to be a good workshop. I'm excited about it. Yay! Done the workshop. Fab. Okay, what else? What else is there to do other than everything ever? Because I'm so behind. I'm so behind at work. I mean, I'm not. I work for myself. But I feel behind, and that is the problem. Okay. Oh, it's so much of my face. You coming over? Careful. Hi, Boo Boo. Hi. I know. I know. How you feeling?
kitty. Mm. Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Okay, come here. I have my cat on me for right now. Oh, come here, it's okay. And so leaning back, I'm looking at my screen and I can see my face a million times, and that is terrifying. Um, oh. This show is a fantasy because boomer parents apologize to their millennial children. Ooh, we did it. We reached long break. I have to stop looking at my face on a screen now. Okay, great. Let's look at my beautiful post-its that are all ideas for videos and upcoming things. If anyone's here and wants to chat, this is the long break technically, and I think I'll probably wrap up after this because I have to make dinner and record the podcast. So if you're here and you're like, and you have anything that you want me to talk about during the podcast, this is your best chance, because I feel beholden. I always feel beholden, which is a feeling that I am having to like wrestle with immensely because I get a lot of not like, I don't know. It's been interesting. YouTube has definitely picked up for me recently. I'm feeling much more like I'll probably stay with YouTube, but TikTok comments have a different vibe, and a lot of them are pretty demanding. And so sometimes I feel very like beholden to answering their questions. And then I'm like, I'm not. I get to make content about whatever I want. And that is true. But it is hard to remember sometimes because I am working on not people pleasing. Or, as I like to say, because it's more accurate, self-abandoning. It's been good for me to make things on my own without needing partners or parameters or other people to be like willing to do it with me. And it has been a really good exercise in like non-reactivity and not feeling beholden to every single person that interacts in a way that is like unhealthy for me. Like I love to interact. I think it's really fun. There are so many like really cool, wonderful comments. And then there are just some that are like that you just have to learn to ignore, but like that is a skill, you know? And so I'm trying to like learn that skill. But the podcast is going to be the Substack but I'll be like playing the clips and stuff. But if you're here and you haven't seen the Substack's popping off. I feel like the Substack is actually kind of a perfect metaphor. I've been writing this Substack without fanfare, without advertising, since 2021. I had like 30 followers the other day. I'm now up to 304, and that is purely because I wrote one thing about heated rivalry. And so I don't know. I was joking with a friend who was like, "Oh my god, that's so incredible!" Like overnight, and I was like, "Yeah, overnight." 4 years and 200 something blogs later, like it's never overnight, and I feel like we diminish so much of the skill building that goes into the pre-work before the thing actually hits. And sometimes things hit right away. Sometimes people post one video and it goes viral and they're set forever. But for a lot of people, it is like you show up every day and then it takes off suddenly and you're like, oh, it was that thing. But I'm really excited about the pod. I think it'll be fun. I've missed podcasting. I'm reviving a podcast. I don't even know how to start a new one. What is my most popular podcast? Oh, by far, it's the Bama Rush doc. Oh, that's interesting. I really hated the Bama Rush doc. I thought it was really disappointing. And as someone who has like had an interest in that subculture for a long time, I was like, they didn't even need to get new recruits. Like, I really think whoever directed that, it felt like a wildly irresponsible documentary to me for multiple reasons. But one of them was definitely like the lack of kind of grace that they had around the girls' eating disorders. But also like, I don't know. Documentaries are really revealing of documentary makers as well. And I feel like we're kind of in this age of documentary makers making themselves the subject of their documentary by proxy. And that was really a bad trend, I think. And the Bama Rush documentary that came out, like, it really felt like this woman was like, I have not had acceptance in my life because of my medical condition, which is heartbreaking. But then to take very vulnerable 19-year-olds and use them as kind of her proxy for self-acceptance felt really irresponsible. These girls were in active eating disorders and maybe active recovery, and having them talk about counting chips on camera, I was just like, yikes. Like, we are not good about that. But also, like, she didn't need to interview people that she wanted to. She could have gone to former, like, there's so many former sorority people, and there could have been so much more conversation about hazing and about acceptance. But it just felt like at some point she was like, no, the sororities really are the most important thing you can do in your entire life. And I was like, what's happening? Okay. Just sorry, this is a rant about the Bama Talk Rush. Thank you so much for all of the kind words. Thank you for the comments. Yeah, I feel like it's been interesting doing this because it's been a good format for me. It's not that I am a bad friend. I'm just a very talkative person. And that I think makes it hard sometimes for people to feel like they can get an edge in word-wise. It turns out recording myself is a great way to make it so that I don't have to do that. So I'm more at ease and everyone else is more at ease too in the conversation, which is great. And it's been fun. I did meet up with someone who found me on TikTok, and I in a very old video about Gilmore Girls, because that's what I used to talk about before heated rivalry took over my brain entirely. I used to talk about other things too. I used to talk about books I was reading and politics. And she realized that we lived in some proximity to each other, and so we ended up going to yoga one day, and that was really fun. So if you live in New York City, hit me up. We can go to the MoMA for free on Fridays together or something. It'll be great. I'm very afraid of like the sudden influx of things that are kind of happening. Like, people are starting to follow my Instagram and like, I haven't linked that anywhere. I don't want Instagram following, and so I had to lock it down because I was like, I haven't redacted information. I didn't plan to be a public figure. I just really wanted to keep talking about Shane and Ilya. Like, there's only so much that you can say to your friends in real life. I will say, though, I do have one friend who got me into it, and she's been really great. But she is a kid, so I'm trying. She's not always available to listen to me be like, and another thing about the way he smiles in this scene. But we are having fun, and it's good to have people to send things to. So I'm really glad that like I get that by making the videos, and I get that from my comments, and it feels like what's cool about comment sections right now on my page at least is that I feel like the comments are kind of becoming like a message board for people, and so people feel very very connected in that way. Oh no, that's such a shame they didn't come out with subtitles. I really hope they fix that. That feels like a massive oversight. Like, why would you? Like not to stereotype all Brazilian fans of anything at all, but like I can't imagine having a more dedicated fan base, you know, than releasing it with Portuguese subtitles. Just don't feel like that hard to do. Okay, are they coming? If that's great. Yeah, I mean the thing about the internet that's so fascinating is like I get a lot of comments now assuming that I'm American. And I sound like this, but I was born and raised in Dublin, Ireland. So I get a lot of like the American perspective on this, and I'm like, I have an American perspective, but I don't come from solely American stuff. And so it's been interesting to find out exactly how international the internet actually is. And I knew that. I do facilitation work online, and so I have clients that join at like 4 a.m. sometimes. It's just like incredible dedication to being a global citizen. But that's cool that it's coming to Brazil. I mean, I hope I hope that your friends all enjoy it once it comes out with subtitles, and that you get to talk to people in real life about it. I've had 2 experiences of talking to people in real life about it, and we started talking for so long that we missed our trains, and we all felt very silly about it afterwards. But it was great. It was so much fun. And my best friend still hasn't watched it. So we're getting there. We're wearing her down. I'll figure it out eventually. The millennial angle is really working for her. The cigarette angle is working for her, but she's resistant to pop culture. So, and yet we are best friends. So it works out. But okay, the timer's about to go. I should go make dinner and then podcast. I haven't listened to The Long Game, but I read The Long Game. I did download the audiobook of Heated Rivalry at one point because I was like, I want to clean, but I want to listen. I don't want to watch. I want to whatever, get the book in my head a little bit more. And I need them to re-record with the actors. I really think that is the Russian accent is tough for me personally. But I enjoy the books. I think the books are fine. I think Rachel Reed's talents really lie in plot and character development. She is really, really good at inherent conflict, and she creates really good characters. And personally, I don't love her syntax or dialogue style. And that is why I don't talk about the books a ton, because I don't want to criticize her as an author, because I don't think that's fair. It's just my personal taste as a writer does not like align with how she forms ideas on the page, but I like the ideas she has on the page, and that feels like a level of nuance that will not get across in a short video. You know what I mean? She has expressed that she wants them to re-record the book. Apparently, they have to get the audio rights back from someone. I mean, I haven't delved into, I started Game Changers and I didn't like it. I'm so sorry. And so I put it down, and my friend was like, oh, do not listen to the audiobook of that one because like they give Kip a New York accent. And I've now heard clips of it, and like, it's such a choice. It's just such a choice. Yeah, I think the Russian is better than Kip, you know, but like, that's really fun. Reading books out loud with your friends is a great thing to do. I read My Friend 1984 a few years ago, and that was really great. And reading books out loud is like a totally different way to engage with them. So I love that. I love that people are like crowdsourcing this, because the audiobooks are tough, man. And I don't listen to a lot of audiobooks for fiction because I find it I get lost pretty easily with audiobooks, so I listen to a lot of nonfiction audiobooks that don't usually have voices, that are just like 40-hour podcasts basically about, Nixon. Or like Disney Wars was a really good one. If you're looking for nonfiction book recommendation podcast or audiobooks, I would recommend Disney Wars. It is truly one of the most compelling nonfiction stories about just like bad CEOs in the 90s, and really how we ended up here with this multi conglomerate. I don't care about Disney at all, not a Disney adult, but I know so much about Michael Eisner and Jeffrey Katzenberg and their fight. And so when Quibi happened, I was like, oh, you guys don't even know about the memo that got written in 1996 that like funded all of this. If you're ever feeling bad about a mistake you made at work, just remember that one time Michael Eisner wrote on official Disney letterhead, like, we will never pay Jeffrey Katzenberg the $2 billion that we owe him. And then in a lawsuit that Jeffrey Katzenberg brought, that document was the reason they had to pay that man $2 billion. And that $2 billion did eventually fund Quibi. Anyway, this is a live example of how my brain works and why videos have been really great for me, because I have to stay on one topic and talk fast. Okay, I have to go. This was so much fun. Thank you all for hanging out. We will do these more often, and I will even try to maybe like announce them ahead of time for body doubling purposes. And we can maybe even do like community votes on whether or not it should be like 15 or 20 minutes, or like what the vibe is, because I do better work as well during these. So it's selfish and fun. But the podcast will be coming soon. It's under Smoke Show. So I don't want to start a new podcast. So I'm just relaunching my old solo podcast. But this time I'm going to film it. And I will say filming it is adding stress that I'm like, well, I think I just have to determine that I'm like not going to stress about how I look in videos and just let that be true and get used to it. Because I don't want to become obsessed and vain about how I look. I just want to communicate to people, and video format seems to be the best way to do that right now. Okay. Good. Yay. Okay. Yes. We will definitely do some body doubling soon. My brain started going like Australia time, because I used to do workshops for Australian clients, and so I would have to wake up at like 7 in the morning, and then I could never make it work for Perth. I always felt so fucking bad. I'd be like, I'm so sorry. Please join at 5 a.m. your time. I'm staying up until 10 p.m. on the East Coast. We do not align. But it was good. It was fine. People are pretty generous with waking up to do fucking Zoom workshops if you make it worth their while. But yeah, we'll do body doubling. I'll try to announce it ahead of time. I feel I don't know. I'm still trying to get comfortable like being a person on the internet without like, I don't know, making up for it by offering some kind of you know what I mean? Like, still just trying to exist and learn to exist. Okay. Smoke Show podcast. You can find it on podcatchers. The video will be up on this. Thank you all. I really do have to go, and I'm terrible at leaving without just Irish exiting. So that will be what I do now. Okay, bye.